What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith. And the reason you clicked on the thumbnail, folks, I have a college football legend and future NFL draft prospect. I have Jalen Coker on the show with us here today. We're going to talk about his record-setting season. He's also tied for #1 for touchdowns in all of NCAA football. This is huge. He's coming out of a small school, but he's a big-time talent and potentially even playing for your favorite NFL team one day. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take and welcome Jalen Coker to the show. Jalen, how are you, man?
I'm doing good.
Super happy to have you on, man. How has this whole journey been for you so far? You've had one heck of a college football career, man.
It's been a blessing, coming to school, playing with these guys every day, it's honestly just all a blessing, I'm just happy I did it all here, and, I'm looking forward for the future for sure.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. We're going to get a lot into your journey, what you're doing to get ready for the next level, the NFL. But take us from the beginning. Man, when did you first fall in love with the game of football?
Ever since I was probably like 3 or 4, I was playing flag, running around, having a good time, really not playing football, just really out there, just happy to be there, having fun. But then, as I grew up, I started to play tackle, and then I got into a couple tackle travel leagues, and then high school. I feel like ever since I was really young, I just loved the game, everything about it. I played all over the place. I wasn't always just a receiver. So, I think that's really, really what made me fall in love with it, was just you can do so many different things on the field at one time. So
what was your aha moment where you realized that, man, this is more than just a hobby, man? This could potentially be my career one day.
I'd probably say my junior year of high school, when I really played receiver, that was like my position. And I feel like that was the real moment. I was catching touchdowns, and I really was like, and I'm going to do this. But I feel like even then, like even since I was playing Pop Warner, I wanted to be a professional football player, So, it's always been a goal of mine for sure.
Very cool. Growing up, now you're from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, or as we call it, the DMV. Yeah. Man, was there a favorite team you had growing up?
Yeah, I've always been a Saints fan.
Okay, hey, that's cool, man. My wife's from the 504, man, so I know a little bit about it.
Yep.
Did you have a favorite player growing up?
A favorite player growing up,
or players?
I would probably say growing up, probably Reggie Bush.
Oh, he was so cold, man. Greatest college running back of all time, and he had a pretty solid NFL career too. Very cool, very cool. Now, watching your tape, my man, you are crushing. You're a true deep threat. You can run the slot. Your jump ball is insane, especially at the point of attack. It's not a boring play that you're involved in, man. It's quite an experience, man. Who are some players in the NFL that you model your game after?
I feel like I really don't model my game after anybody. Really, I just go out there and I just try to catch the ball. If it's in the air, it's mine. So, that's kind of the mentality I go with. My dad says I play like Julio Jones. So that's the closest comparison I could probably give to you right now. But, I just go out there and I have fun,
What would your play style is a little bit?
I think kind of like what you said, deep ball threat, you throw it up, like I'm probably going to come down with it. I got to work on my short game, getting the ball short and then making plays after. But, I feel like, taking the top off of the defense is probably one of my biggest attributes for sure.
Yeah, and definitely the top attribute. You see – even in last year's draft, there's a lot of good receivers, but there's not a lot of guys in the NFL that can straight Randy Moss it like you, man. And a lot of people, they make the Randy Moss type throw, but to run the route consistently on a day in and day out basis, that's all you, man. So it's you're a true special talent. That being said, man, you're coming out of a small school, Holy Cross, right? Everybody looks at the Alabamas, they're looking at the Florida Gators, looking at Texas. A lot of big schools, a lot of big name talent, man. But you're coming out of small school and you're a big name talent. Would it be safe to say that you play with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder?
I'd say yeah. Coming from a smaller school, definitely, overlooked, I'd say. But I feel like that's been me my whole life, So it's really nothing changing for me. I'm just going to continue to put my best foot forward, and everyone else is just going to have to wait and see, whenever I make a splash.
Had obviously a very long college career, a great high school career as well too. Were there any mentors or coaches or people you looked up to who gave you a piece of advice that you hold close to your heart till this day?
Yeah, my coach, my DB's coach in high school, Brandon Jackson, he was a a mentor for me, not just on the football field, but just kind of in life in general. Just being sure to keep a positive attitude, regardless of what happens. Always, show up to work with a smile. Just continuing to spread that positive energy. That's something that I really gravitated towards, and why he's probably one of the best coaches I've ever had. Um, I could go down the list of every coach that has had an impact on me, but I'm just blessed and fortunate enough to be around people that really care about me and want to see me develop as a player and as a person. So, all my coaches, I really can't say enough about them. They're all really great.
That's excellent, man. That's excellent. Now, in the coming months, obviously, we have bowl week coming up. Once that season is out of the way, I wanted to ask you, what are some things you're doing to help take your game to the next level?
I'm about to start hopping back in this weight room, get footwork drills going, just working on the jugs machine, catching, just trying to get ready for the pro day, the all-star games, the stuff like that. So, um, I feel like right now just really just kind of soaking it all in and ready to get to work whenever I hit the training facility that I'm going to. And then, after that, just sky's the limit for real.
And what would you say is a misconception that people have about you?
Probably the biggest one is that I'm not fast. Um, so, I feel like that's probably the biggest one I hear all the time. But, shut those rumors down, misconceptions, and just, you know, run fast.
Yeah, I never heard of a deep threat that was slow.
Hmm.
Never. Division 2, Division 3, I never heard of it, man. So the tale tells no lies, my friend. So that's cool, man. And going forward, man, what's something you want them to take and know about you? NFL teams, NFL scouts, back office type folks. What's something you want them to know about you that perhaps they may not know already?
I'm always going to get better. Regardless of how many down bad days that happen, I'm going to continue to strive to get better. I'm going to be a good guy in the locker room. I'm going to be, a leader on and off the field. I feel like, I'm going to try to always represent my last name with, the best. So, I feel like, whoever takes me, they're getting a good person and, you know, a good football player as well.
And what are some of your goals, man? Whether you're a day 1, 2, 3 pick, UDFA, wherever you take and you fall in this upcoming 2024 NFL draft. Once your name is called and you are selected and you're taking that flight or drive to that next NFL team, I want to ask you, what are some of your goals your first year on that NFL roster?
My first year to compete, these guys are going to be veterans, rookies, fourth year, fifth year guys. These are going to be guys that best player on their college team, best player in the NFL, whoever it is. My goal is to compete, go in there, show that I belong, prove to everyone that I belong there. And honestly, yeah, that's my biggest thing. Compete, have fun, enjoy it. Can't take this opportunity for granted. You only probably get one shot at this. So just make the most of my opportunities, really.
You obviously have a great work ethic, even better head on your shoulders, and then you have the skills, talent to combine. What's a piece of advice for that next guy who's going into Holy Cross, or even going to another school for that matter? What advice would you give someone who's stepping in to a college campus to play college football? What advice would you give them?
I would say just believe in yourself, and not just like the corny, like believe in yourself, like really
Mhm.
like like trust yourself. Like you'd be surprised like what you can really accomplish when you put your mind to something and actually like do everything you can to reach and achieve that goal. Just every time that you're doubting yourself, like just flip that switch and be like, you know what, I'm not going to do that. You feel like you have to go to practice a certain day. No, you get to go to practice. Like just switching the mentality from, feeling sorry for yourself or like, dang, like this is difficult. Like this isn't for everybody. So you're already doing something that's incredible and not a lot of people have the ability to do. So just remember that this is a blessing regardless of if it's good or bad or anything like that. Just remember that you're in a position to really make a difference and just continue to stay positive.
Awesome, man. I love it. I love it. And I got to ask you, because athletes, we all know almost every one of them loves music. What's in your headphones on game day, man?
Young boy, NBA young boy.
Okay,
That's my
gotcha. Yeah,
go-to.
he talks that talk, man. But for it to transfer on the football field, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. That's the most common one. I get him and the baby and little baby.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
those
all good
are
ones.
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm considered what you be called a old head, but some of the NBA YoungBoy stuff's pretty cool too. So
Yeah, I mean, I'll mix in a little Earth, Wind and Fire, a little Sade,
oh, okay.
depending on the mood. But if I'm trying to get turned up, it's definitely YoungBoy for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I always ask that question because it's very interesting, right? You have some people, they're like, man, I listen to opera music or I listen to R&B,
Yeah.
like how? That was
Yeah.
never me back in the day, but
Oh, yeah. I mean, some people just get in the zone with that stuff,
yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And then kind of similar to a question I asked earlier about, man, what are some of your goals? What's something you want out of an NFL team on the next team that you're on? What are some traits of that team that are important to you?
I would say just they believe in me, I feel like if I get drafted, they're already willing to take a chance on me. So there's that continuous belief that, I'm going to turn out to be the player that they expect me to be, that I expect to be, and just opportunities are always present. I feel like that's another thing I kind of alluded to earlier, like just having the ability to get in the game or not the game, but even get a rep at practice where, I'm up against the starter or something like that. Just the opportunity to prove myself. And just really transparency, keeping it real with me. I know the coaches will probably do that already, but, just telling me how it is. If I'm not doing something, definitely let me know. And, just to push me to get better every day.
Awesome. And then when it comes to playbook, that's often a hunch that a lot of rookies go into. They go from getting, 80 plus targets a college season, 1,000 yards, right? Then they get to the NFL and it's a whole different language, right?
Yeah.
Be like if we uprooted you, say, hey, all right, you're gonna have to take and learn French. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole different language. What would you say your ability is as far as grasping playbooks?
I mean, I'd say pretty well. I mean, I picked up the playbook here, and my freshman year, I picked it up in like a couple months, and I was coming in as a freshman from high school, So, it's obviously going to be a transition regardless, Everyone's a rookie at some point, so it's going to be hard for everyone, some more than others. But I feel like you said, the lingo is probably going to be the hardest thing to understand. But as soon as you get the concepts down and what word means what concept, I feel like I sit in my room long enough and look at it long enough, I'll get it for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, Jalen, dude, thank you so much for taking and coming on the show, man. Obviously, you're a busy man. You're relaxing because, hey, the season just ended, but you're about to go into grind time here pretty soon. They got the combine and all kinds of cool events coming up. Before we take and we go, man, do you have any shout outs at all, man?
Yeah, for sure. Shout out my mom, my dad, my grandpa, my brother and sister, Gemma and Jackson, my girlfriend. Who else can I shout out? All my coaches, my teammates, everyone that's helped me along this journey. For real, I wouldn't be here without them. So love you guys.
Yes, sir. Love it, man. Jalen, dude, thank you so much again. Ladies and gentlemen, go down in the description of this video. You'll be able to see all the social media stuff down below. Also comment, let us know how this interview made you feel. Jalen Coker, he is one of the best receivers. Mark my word, coming out of this NFL draft. Small school, big time talent, going to be making some big plays potentially for your NFL team very soon. You guys have a blessed night, and we'll catch you next time on the Touchdown with Doug Smith.
Turn 100 for the touchdown, king crown, gain inside, leading your town, hit you faster than the sound, bad boy throw it down, yeah I'm ill, not my will, don't cop a fill the house, listen to the roaring crowd, drop a light, calm it down, Heisman all the haters mouth, superhero hit them wow, packing more action than bing boom bam pow, touchdown for the win, we live, subscribe right now.
Thanks for watching another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith, where I cover all 32 NFL teams plus NFL exclusive interviews. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for the alerts, comment below, and we'll catch you next time on the Touchdown with Doug Smith.